Hello everybody, Drifty here from Driftwood Gaming, and we are going to do another RPG Maker MV tutorial. This is a class spotlight for the Hexxer. So the Hexxer is a support class, and he has a lot of different skills, but they all, most of them fundamentally do the same thing. They apply a state that's going to increase the damage by 2, so it's doubling damage against elements. He's also a dark magic caster who steals HP and steals MP. So he's not the strongest as in attack, but he has some really good status effects that make him a really great utility character. Before we get started on the Hexxer class, I want to clear up a few things. In one of my other videos, I said that the new active turn battle system has broke taunt, but it didn't. I was using the taunt incorrectly. I was actually putting note tags in the notes for the skills, and that's not how you use them. You create states, or you can put them on actors or classes, but what you would really want to do is create states that have the note tags on the states, and then the skills you would put inflict state. So for this skill you would add the state in MIDI 100% on self, on the user, and then the state would have these note tags that create taunt. So I'll show that off later on in the video. Taunt works fine. Also, the attack speed that I was talking about being defunct, it's just a specific type of thing. This right here, attack speed, it really just increases the charge rate for basic attacks, and that's all it does. So it does work correctly, it just has a specific use that's not super duper important. Unless you have like a really, like maybe a berserker class. We'll do something on that. Let's get into the Hexxer class. So the parameter curves, we have, I basically went with the basic ranks and I selected one time. So we have rank C HP, rank A MP, rank C attack, rank C defense, rank A magic attack, rank C magic defense, rank C agility, and rank D luck. For the skills, we'll get into the skills after I go through all the states, but I'll walk through real quick. He's got all the curse for the elements for the single target. He has a skill called Lancet that steals HP. He's got a skill called Dwindle that reduces all of the stats of your target by 10%, or all the parameters, I should say. He has a skill called Osmos, which steals MP, and he has the mass versions, which is the all enemies version of the same spells. So that's pretty much the Hexxer class skills in a nutshell. For the traits, I've upped his hit rate by 1%, as I've done all my custom classes. I've upped the critical rate by 1%. I just like the whole fact that if you roll a 20 on a d20, that's 5% chance. That's a critical hit, so I go with 5% critical on all my classes. That's just my personal preference. And with this class spotlight, take it as a template for you to modify and you to change to fit your game needs. For example, the experience curve, I've gone with a straight 20 across the board, just so that I can promote character growth and the player feels like he's making progress in every battle. So I've liked a little bit quicker character progression in all of my classes. However, I have made most of my actors, well, eventually they're all going to be max level 999. So faster progression, and more levels and more skills to come. So for the weapons, I've created a new weapon called the Banner, and they just basically carry around banners that hex your enemies. The skill type, I've created a new skill type called Hex. For armor, I've let them use general armor, magic armor, and light armor. That's basically it, because they're not really tanky classes. They're pretty squishy. They have rank C HP and rank C defense and rank C magic defense, so they don't have any special tank abilities. They're mainly for utility offensive builds. So let's go over to types, and we're going to add a weapon type Banner, and we're going to add a skill type Hex. Then we're going to go over to states, and we're going to add quite a few states. We're going to need to add Fire Cursed, and I'll show you how to do this one right here. You right click and you go to Element Rate, right here, Element Rate, and you select whatever element you want to curse, and then you multiply that by 200, because times 100 means it's just going to do regular damage. If you were to do like times 50%, then it's actually like a buff, like they're taking 50% damage. So if you do times 200%, they're taking double damage. So I've done times 200% fire rate. Everything else I've left the same. I have checked remove at the end of battle, and then I've auto removal turn in 10 to 12 turns. That's kind of a long debuff. You might want to nerf that, but I like having a nice long duration for boss battles. So I've set turn in 10 to 12 turns and remove at the end of the battle, and I haven't specified any messages for it. And basically you're going to copy this and you're going to paste it down here, change the icon, change the name, change the element rate from fire to ice. Do the same thing for any element you want. I've done them all except for holy because if you holy, I have some enemies that actually use cure magic, and a lot of the cure magic is holy based. So if you curse them with holy, they're also going to be healing themselves for twice as much. Just something to think about. So I've excluded holy cursed. For dwindle, this is the debuff parameter one. I basically went into param, which is the second tab. I've selected the first one and I went 90% and hit OK. And I've done that for each parameter, and that's a state. So when they're dwindled, all of their parameters are dropped by approximately 10% of their maximum. So it's good to start off the battle with a dwindle because you're automatically taking 10% of their HP from the get-go. So dwindle is a great opener. Let's move on to weapons. You're going to create a couple new weapons for your new class, the Hexxer. Select whatever graphic you want, any traits you want, the parameter changes you want, any description that's desired, and the price and animation as you see fit, and then select the banner weapon type. I've gone ahead and made two, and a little flavor to the second one. I've gave it a 10% chance to confuse the enemy on hit. That's just my personal preference, but you can make whatever you like. Going on to the skills, here's where the bulk of everything is going to be. You're going to make a lot of skills. You'll probably have to change maximum. As you can see, I've made about, I don't know, approximately 20 skills for the Hexxer. So we've made the curse fire, and we're going to give it a graphic, give it a title, a quick description so the player knows what's going on. They're going to take double damage from fire. Now the formula, you may notice this is a really weak attack. Magic attack times 3 minus the magic defense times 2, because he's not going to be like a mainly offensive mage. He's sort of a utility mage to make your other offensive mages that much stronger. So with each of these states, you're going to right click and you're going to go over to state, and you're going to add the state for that appropriate curse. In this case, fire curse, and we made the state already for fire curse. So we'll scroll down to fire curse and add that there. The percentage is up to you. I stick to 100% because I don't like to feel like I've wasted my turn. MP cost, it's up to how much MP you're going to be giving everybody. I've kind of kept the single target curses 15 MP. Occasionally you're going to do battle screen, and the scope you're going to do one enemy, because we're going to do a mass fire curse later on that does all enemies. So do the same thing for each. You can create one like I've done and copy paste, and then change the name, change the icon, change the description, and change the state, the add state, and then just move on down. And when you get to the mass curse, you can copy the fire one, paste it here, rename and just put mass in front of it, change the MP cost, and change the scope to all enemies. That'll save you some time. As for the message, I've just clicked casts. I think since it's a spell, it'll sound better if they're casting it. Now for the dwindle state, I forgot to do a description here. But basically, you can give it a description, whatever you want. You can change these numbers to see how to whatever you like, and then add the state the same way. Give it an MP cost, and select the skill type for hex for all of these. Mass dwindle will be the same, except it'll be all enemies and probably a higher MP cost. Animations are up to you. Lancet, this is going to be an HP drain damage type. So you'll go up here to the damage type, select HP drain, and I've gone with the dark element for all of his skills, but you can specify whatever element you would like. And Lancet, okay, for the damage formula, I gave Lancet a standard attack 4 minus 2, basically 4 magic attack minus the defense time, magic defense times 2, and I've let this one critical. However, for Osmos, I've reduced this down to 3, since MP is more point per point more powerful than HP. I've reduced the variance to 5 and disallowed criticals for that. especially since he has a mass Osmos at level 60 that's going to steal a lot of MP. But the thing about MP drain, if your opponent doesn't have any MP, then you will get no MP for that. But what's cool about Osmos is it doesn't cost any MP to cast. It only takes TP. So when you're out of MP, you can still attack with your physical attack, your banner, and then when you have enough TP, if you come across the monster who also has MP, you can drain that MP and you can get back in the action by cursing and dwindle and all that stuff. So that's basically all the skills. When you get all of the skills created, you're going to go to your classes and you're going to right click, insert here, and you're going to award them at whatever levels you see fit. This is the levels that I've awarded them at, but I know that I'm going to have a lot of levels and I'm going to be leveling kind of quickly. So the fact that I've gone up to 60 may be too many levels for your game. Say your characters, the players are going to be approximately level 30 by the time they're at the end of your game. You might want to scale all of these down. Instead of every 2 to 3 levels, you might have one skill every level. So it's up to your progression, and you'll be changing the award level depending on your game. So that's pretty much for the Hexxer class. Now let's take a look at the Hexxer class in action. I'm also going to show that provoke works in the ATB system. Alright, so we have, let's cast arrow on this slime and take note of the damage we do. We'll do that first. And then we're going to hex with a curse to wind, slightly after that. So we're going to hit with an arrow and it does 458 damage. And now we're going to provoke, also to show that provoke works. So now we have that curse on the wind curse on the slime. So now let's do arrow. It did what, 450 something damage? So now it should do around 900 damage. 841, that seems to be about right because there's a variance in there, so I would assume that it's working correctly. I also want to answer one special question real quick. Let's take a look at some of the skills and then I'll get to the special request thing. So we'll see that Serena should be the one getting targeted by the attacks. So you notice there that we had a little green 690 there. That was HP that Zatara was healing himself. And we can even improve on that. I mean, he's not a healer class, but he can heal himself. So Lancet is a dark magic skill. So if we curse them with dark magic curse, then we should be healing for twice as much as well. So now that they've got the dark magic curse on him, we'll let the bar fill one more time. And he also has mass Lancet, so now we're going to actually get approximately 4 times the HP that we did on the first one, which was 690. By cursing them, that's doubling it, and now we have 2 targets. There we go. That was pretty juicy. Approximately 2400 HP heal right there, which is significant. So let's go ahead and try one more thing. Now Drifty has a skill, Gokasai Suresu. Now this is a fire attack, but it's a physical attack. But I have some lunatic mode damage code in there, and I'm going to show you that after it. So basically, the damage is saying if the slimes are, if anything, has this state, cursed fire, then this physical attack is going to do double damage. So we're going to curse one of the slimes with fire curse, and then we're going to take note of the damage. $900, $1,000, $900, $850, $1,000. So approximately 900 damage with the curse. Now let's use that same skill on the slime that doesn't have the curse on him. $400, $550, $500, $450, $500. And you can see that the lunatic mode damage code is working correctly. So I'm going to show you that code right now. And this is also going to answer special requests from Matthias Heridia. He asks, is there a way to make an attack that can exploit status effects, like an attack that does 30% more damage to a target that's burning? And let's take a look at that code. So you're going to need something for this code. The damage core came out today. Yanfly has released the damage core engine, and you're going to get that off of his website. Links I'll put in the description, and you're going to put it right underneath all of the other battle core stuff. So you're going to have the battle core engine, or battle engine core, and the action sequence packs, and then the battle system ATB and the battle AI core. Underneath all of those, that's where you're going to put the damage core. So once you have the damage core, it's going to allow some note tags for your skills. So let's take a look at that skill. So you can see that it's a physical attack element. And if we try to add fire attack, there is no way to do that right here. So how do we make this, without using a common event, how do we make this do fire extra damage when they're cursed with fire? Well, we're going to use lunatic mode and put in some JavaScript real quick. So basically, you're going to put brackets and you're going to say damage formula. And then anything after that is going to be treated as an evaluation for the damage formula. So we're going to say value equals, and we'll copy this damage formula and we'll paste it in right here. Now, if you're wondering what the V and the bracket stands for, that's calling on a variable. I'm using a variable in the damage formula that increases every time I use it. You can see the Bushido skill level up. So Bushido skill is being stored in variable 10. So you can use V with brackets to use variable. However, you need to initialize them. I'll get into that in a second. So you type in value equals whatever you want your damage formula to be. You don't have to use variables. You can use a simple damage formula like this, like A attack times 2 minus the defense or something. Here's the, I'll show you, this is just the rest of the code over here, times 2. Oh, it looks like there was a little, oh no, it's in there. Okay. Just didn't see it there. Then we're going to use a conditional branch here. If, and we're going to use parentheses, B, which is the defender, dot is, capital S on state, capital A affected, and then in parentheses, a second set of parentheses, you're going to put this number that reflects the state you want to do more damage on. So in my case, state number 70 is the fire curse state. So if you wanted it to be the burning state, all you would have to do is go over to where your burning state is, look at the number that's being stored in that state. For in my case, it would be 26. So I would go over here and I would put 26 in this number where 70 is at. Then I would close that off and close the other one to finish the if statement. Now we're going to open up a brace to say this is what's going to happen if this condition is met. We're going to say if their enemy is in this state, then we're going to take the value which we defined as our damage formula and multiply it by 2. So times equals is saying just multiply this number by. So we're going to multiply this number by 2 and we're going to end line. So the semicolon means we're done with that current statement. We have to do that, otherwise we might get an error. And then we're also going to use the closing brace. Now you could put the closing brace right here and then delete this one. It'll still work the same, but just for a good way to write code is, so it looks nice and clean, we'll do it like that. And then we're going to make an else handler. So we're going to say if they're in this state, multiply the value of the damage formula by 2. Otherwise, multiply the value by 1, which is basically doing nothing. So we can actually get rid of this whole else handler. In this case, I was copying another piece of code and changing the numbers. So you actually don't need an else handler. But say you wanted a skill that that you wanted to do like maybe triple or quadruple damage, but if they don't have a state, it's only going to do half damage. So you would just take this else handler and write 0.5, and you can do 50 if you want. So this, now it's going to say it's going to do this much damage divided by 2, or cut it times 0.5, which is the same thing, if they don't have the state. But if they do, it's going to do double. But in my case, I just wanted to do regular damage, but if they're in the state, do double damage. So that may seem complicated. Leave a comment below if you have any more questions about it, and I can even copy paste this code for you. But make sure you close the bracket to let the game know that you're done creating your damage formula. So you just write bracket / damage formula, and then anything after that will be treated as a different note tag. So as you can see right here, now I've done my setup action because now we have the action sequence. So you can have multiple things in your note tags. So that's answering the question for you, Matthias, and that's showing off the Hexxer class. and clearing up some of the other statements I said about taunt being broken and attack speed not working right. Everything seems to be working great. Thank you everybody involved with RPG Maker MV, especially you Yanfly. Thank you everybody for watching this video. If you have any more questions or comments, leave them below. Remember to like, favorite, share, subscribe if you like this video and you want more content like that. I really appreciate every one of you guys. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.